Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Erin. My biofuel of choice is ethanol. Oops. Oh, which is from corn. Also, shout out to my dog, Danny, and music. If you hear that, it's chill. We're chilling. So let me learn y'all something a little bit about it. So, brief history. From 1826 to 1876, it was used as fuel for combustion engine by Nicholas Otto and for lighting fuel. Then, as we transition into World War II in the early 1900s, it was used to power war tanks and blended with gasoline. Then, as environmental and financial concerns became apparent in the US, there became a big switch from petroleum to ethanol. And with the Minnesota model, many farmers used this in an effort to keep funding for ethanol and profits from local farms in the local economies. It was also used to control carbon dioxide emissions as it makes fewer than other fuels like fossil fuels and gasoline and coal. With environmental, economic, and financial pressures, ethanol is now the most popular form of fuel found in 98% of US gasoline products and widely available across the world in present day. So some cultivation steps. We got a little farmer, corn to gas. Yeah, buddy. Corn, which is a starch, is ground up into a form of flour known as meal during the milling process. Water is added during liquefaction, turning it into a sludge known as slurry. The enzyme alpha amylase is added to speed up the breakdown of the starch molecules. Then, during fermentation, yeast is added to the slurry to break down or eat the glucose, and this byproduct of energy is turned into 10 to 15% ethanol. During distillation and dehydration, the ethanol becomes 95% pure, and that last 5% is just water, which then a very small amount of gasoline is added to it during denaturation to make it undrinkable. And then for environmental impact, ethanol compared to fossil fuels emits 40 to 50% fewer greenhouse gases and does not take millions of years to form from dino waste. Because it is plant-based, so it just keeps coming back. Easily, quickly replenished. It burns more clearly than coal and gasoline, making it an environmentally friendly alternative as it emits less particulate matter into the atmosphere. And during the fermentation process, the yeast releases CO2 as a byproduct, which is then harnessed to create beverage carbonization, meat production, wastewater treatment, and dry ice production, among a bunch of other things. Another byproduct during the fermentation process is distiller's grain, which is a high protein ingredient used in a lot of livestock feed. The unfortunate side of this is it requires 3 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of ethanol, and the biofuel itself is highly corrosive in engines. Economic impact, it creates a bunch of jobs. According to Media Resource, it takes 8 bushels of corn to produce. So, okay. Pause, rewind, cons first, because we like to end on a good note. According to Media Resources, it takes 8 bushels of corn to produce 2.6 gallons of ethanol, which is enough corn to feed one person for a whole year. However, according to the Renewable Fuels Association, ethanol production accounted for well over 400,000 jobs in 2020, both directly and indirectly, and generated $52.1 billion in gross domestic product and boosted the average household income by $28.7 billion. So I'd say the pros outweigh the cons. Public opinion. Many countries around the world are pushing for ethanol to be the main source of fuel, replacing fossil fuels. Y'all can take a look at this little pie chart as I yak away. The Renewable Fuels Association claims that ethanol helps reduce carbon vehicle emissions, improve air quality, increase our energy independence, lower consumer fuel prices, and provides value-added markets for American farmers. And Canadians' clean fuel standards, an important part of the country's plan to reduce carbon emissions, promote technology, support sustainable jobs, claims that ethanol is the best path to their goal to reduce carbon emissions by 20% by the year 2038. My personal thoughts on it, enjoy the little comment. I think it's a great alternative. to other fuels, it gives the US energy independence from other countries like the Middle East, like those in the Middle East. It makes us less reliant upon them politically as well. It puts the Midwest's excess corn production capacity to good use. It promotes clean air because there's less CO2 byproduct produced than gasoline, and it adds income to rural American families through job opportunities and corn market. Accessibility proposition, in my personal opinion, if I had all the money in the world and finances were not a problem, I would use hydroponic farms to reduce water and land usage in corn production. This would help combat climate change by reducing environmental damage and species extinction caused by overexploitation and intensive farming of land. It would use 10 times less water than traditional field crop water methods due to the fact that the water is captured and reused instead of just draining into the surrounding environment as excess. I would also create ethanol biorefineries to generate fuel, livestock feedstuff, oil, capture CO2 emissions, again, to help with dry ice production, bottling, water waste treatment, food packaging, and even so many more. And that's all I've got. And I hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful rest of your night. Say goodbye to my Danny dog. She wishes y'all the best.